Tom couldn't take it anymore. The constant failure. The failure of not being able to catch Jerry. For years, he had tried. Each and every day, he had tried to catch Jerry. But he could never do it. Jerry would always outsmart him, would always embarrass him, would always get the upper hand, and Tom would always lose. No matter what he tried, nothing worked. And eventually, Tom had enough, and decided to just quit. This made Jerry happy, as Tom wasn't trying to chase him anymore. But eventually, Jerry grew bored, until Jerry came up with a sadistic plan. He would taunt Tom over and over and over, until it finally broke him, and Tom would decide to chase Jerry again, so that Jerry could have the satisfaction of beating him and embarrassing him over and over and over again. And on this particular day, Tom was just relaxing in the living room, finally feeling happy for once. He didn't have to chase Jerry, there was no reason to. He had given up on that, and now all he would do is spend his time relaxing and enjoying life. That was until Jerry appeared in front of him. Jerry then started to do a swaying motion with his hand, tempting Tom to try and chase him. But Tom had had enough, and he decided to just ignore Jerry. For the next few months, every day, Jerry would taunt Tom over and over, doing anything and everything to try and get Tom to chase him, be it breaking Tom's stuff, getting Tom into trouble with the owner of the house, and just generally anything that would annoy Tom. And eventually, one day, Tom had had enough. He had had enough of Jerry's bullshit, and today he would finally catch Jerry. And this made Jerry happy. Jerry's smile was a sick and twisted grin. Tom chased Jerry all through their house, through each and every room, but yet again he had still failed to catch Jerry. Jerry at this point was beyond ecstatic. Not only did he get Tom to chase him again, but he had the upper hand, as always. And eventually, Tom had had enough, and he just stopped in the middle of the room. Tom couldn't take it anymore, and instead of allowing Jerry to taunt him even more, and failing to chase him, Tom decided to just end it all. He only had a few years left, so it wouldn't be a big deal, was what he thought. So with that in mind, Tom just walked to the door, and walked out into their neighborhood, and eventually he walked to their nearby train station, hopped over the fence, and just sat on the tracks, waiting for the train. Eventually, the train could be heard in the distance, and it finally caught up to Tom. And then it hit Tom, smashing him, crushing his body, killing him instantly. And in the distance, Jerry was watching with an evil, sick, twisted grin on his face. His plan had come to full fruition, and it worked perfectly. Jerry's plan to make Tom end himself had worked out better than he had ever hoped for.